Hello and welcome to today's edition of the reaction. My name is Kajikop. And look, we are here again. Charlie, yesterday was a good day. Allow me, before I even start anything, allow me to throw big shout outs to the Minister for Communication, Honorable Samuel Nate George. Man, that guy there will not be just shout out. He be just tam pampa. Look, a true leader is someone who listens. And that's what I want. He has assured us that the data prices will certainly be reduced from now to the end of July till to the end. For me, I want us to give him to the end of the year. I think that would be ample time for him to be able to work stuff out. For now, he only needs patience. And look, as you, we can only be reasonable. We are not stupid people. Our brains are working. Things that does not happen overnight. It happens with time. So let's just give him the time to fix things for us. Besides, he is there to work for us. So who are we if we are not listening to him? And who is he if he is also not listening to us? Thanks for joining me again. And today's stories we are picking it from. Now, this is interesting story. Look, we have a lot of stories to discuss today. I won't lie to you, but I will try as much as possible to bring everything into pieces and bringing you a lot of details that you need to know. So, top of our stories today, we'll talk about Tree for Life initiative takes off. Tree for Life initiative takes off. The new force issues apology over assault involving security guard definitely is on our chopping board today. To some more stories, we'll look at BoG misleading public by ignoring 4 billion Ghana cedis positive balance. Dr. Gideon Buako is in the news with me today. So they are all on our chopping board today, plus some more stories. You know how we do it. Once we start, Charlie, a lot of things will come up and we are going to get into it. Now, before I even get onto the whole thing called news today, look, I would just want to motivate you with one of the most inspiring stories I heard over the weekend. That there was a man married. Yeah, this man was married to a beautiful wife. They were poor, no money. He wasn't working. The wife was feeding him. But this man had a lot of faith in him. He wasn't working not because he couldn't work. He wasn't working because he was still in search of work and he was not getting some. Yet one day he just woke up. He was a man of faith. So this man woke up one morning and told his wife, my dear wife, today I'm going to buy a car. And the wife said, hey, come on, are you stupid? My friend even finds out please sit and see something. Now the wife was this was giving him this bad luck, bad energies, and the man kept on going. Master, I said today I'll buy a car. Now the first step, listen to what he did. The first step was he moved into a shop and went in to buy a coat, which is a suit and a tie with his shoes, beautiful shoes. Came back home, the wife asked him, my dear, what are you using the shoes and the suit for? I'm going to buy a car, so I have to dress and go for it. And I said, hey, who told you they use suits in the dressing for buying of cars? And the wife kept on going, but the man knew what he was looking for. He stepped out, nicely dressed, nice haircut, got to the garage, saw the man, and started bargaining. Now, whilst he was bargaining, coincidentally, a rich man and his daughter came around. Apparently, the daughter was celebrating her birthday, so the man wanted to buy her a car of her choice. Now, the car in question here, which the poor man was also bargaining for with the car dealer, was the same car the girl wanted, the birthday girl wanted. Now, the rich man was there thinking, my daughter, choose another car. The girl stuck to that same car and said, I want this car. Now the poor man who knew that he had nothing in his pocket kept on bargaining with the car dealer. Master, I want this car. I say I want it. I won't let it go. And guess what happened? Eventually, the rich man stepped in and said, Master, come here. I know you have money. That's the reason why you're here to buy a car. But I want you to choose any car of your choice. I will buy it for you and let go of this car for my daughter. Then the poor man kept on going. He didn't want to show or display his poverty. He didn't want to show that yes, I had nothing in my pocket. But he kept on, he showed composure. Master, I said I want this car. I don't want any other car apart from whatever. What this car, this particular car. And the man said, no. You know what? Choose any car of your choice. I will fill the car for you. I'll put in fuel and make sure you take it out of here. The rich man, the poor man kept on it. I don't want, you know, I like this guy. I don't want. Showing off. Eventually, he got a car and took the car home. And he got home. The wife shook his head and said, hey, miracles do happen. And yes, indeed, that is my word of inspiration for you. All you need is faith. All you need is a step. Make that step in your life. Take that step. Don't sit and say, I don't have it. Don't sit and say, I don't. No rich man, no wealthy person ever made it and said, I made it on a lighter note. It wasn't easy. It wasn't. It has never been easy. Life in itself is not easy. There is a reason why whenever a child is born, that baby cries. Just tell yourself, I will make it. You would only be called a failure when you stop. Keep on pushing and you will definitely have something good to discuss in the near future. Now let's delve into our stories today. So Tree for Life initiative takes off. For me, I have a lot of questions for this particular policy, and I'm wondering when I saw this story, the first thing that came into my head is it the same trajectory, the same tangent the immediate past government took, which wasn't successful? Is that the same thing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is seeking to do? Now you tell us that you are venturing into a certain afforestation policy, right, which is going to help our climate change. So Tree for Life initiative takes off. Now let's read into the stories before I bring you whatever I have for you. It says that the Tree for Life program targeted at restoring over 7 million hectares of degraded land across the country took off last Thursday with President John Dramani Mahama rallying all citizens to plant at least one tree within the month. So it further says that the president planted a commemorative tree at the Kwabena Community Senior High School in Accra to mark the commencement of the month-long exercise with a target to plant 30 million trees. Key stakeholders such as government officials, traditional rulers, members of the diplomatic corps, and development partners gathered to lend their support to the national exercise. So in quote, he says that I entreat everyone in Ghana to actively participate in the important national task for the benefit of current and future generations, President Mahama declared, urging all citizens to unite and save the environment. It looks, if I'm paraphrasing, it looks like His Excellency the former President Nana Dankwa speaking, and his minister is for the then former Minister for Natural Resources. Why does it seem like we are moving into the same narrative we had in the immediate past? Have we found a proper structure in planting trees in this country, in engaging in proper afforestation programs? Is this the only way to go? Now he moves on and says that one child, one tree. We've heard it over and over and over again. Why am I saying this? Look, move to Graphic Online. I'm reading some headlines for you, right? I'm reading just the headline, not the story. The headline kicking. In 2019, on the 9th of January 2019, Sir John assesses progress of youth in afforestation program. You recall that in Nanado's tenure as a president, he initiated a certain program called Youth in Afforestation, right? Did he? Yes, he did that. That was a good program, but the execution once again was poor. So it looked as if in Ronaldo's tenure of office, Everything policy, he got it right. Executing it was a problem. Now, who caused them? It means that the people involved were not competent enough. But has the narrative changed? Has it changed? Why am I saying that the youth in afforestation was one program that we needed to keep? I'm still reading the headlines for you. I have a series of headlines here. You can just run me on Graphic Online. It says that on the 8th of December 2021, massive afforestation program underway, Jenapo. After Sir John Jenapo came in on the 8th of December 2021, it is a massive afforestation program underway. What happened? The so-called planting. What happened to it? We spent millions of cedis. Look, it moved on, and even Graphic themselves had their own opinion about it. It says the afforestation program needs the push. Then why were we employing youth in afforestation? The youth to engage in afforestation. Why? Now it moves on and says that, let me try and get this done. It says, youth in afforestation hails President Akufo-Addo. Why were they hailing him? Just follow me. I haven't started it. Just follow me carefully. Yeah. Now it moves on and says that 15,000 youth to be engaged in forestry plantation programs. 15,000 youth to be engaged in forestry plantation program. What happened? This was exactly 23rd of November 2017, even before the initiation of the program. Now it moves on and says on the 19th of December 2018, 42 million Ghana cedis released for youth in afforestation beneficiaries. 42 million Ghana cedis released for youth in afforestation beneficiaries. Now, on the 3rd of October 2022, mitigating effects of climate change through afforestation. Everybody knows that. Now, looking at all the headlines I've given to you, the stories on Graphic Online, you can just go and check them out. Look, I'm telling you today for a fact that these youth in afforestation program, the youth in afforestation program, was one that was going to hugely impact on our climate change positively, especially looking at the harm, the deterioration, and the effect of galamsey to our community. That wasn't enough. I'm sad here because after this whole policy called the youth in afforestation, why did the now government, the NDC government, claiming that we have to embark on a resetting agenda, knowing perfectly well that the youth in afforestation program is one that was going to reduce our unemployment rate, right? Two, had a lot of positive, was having a lot of possession, a lot of potentials of what? Reducing our climate change risks or improving on our climate change. Three, it was then going to have an effect on the degraded lands, the lost lands through illegal mining. So if you have such a program, youth in afforestation, why then don't you find a way of restructuring it? In your own words, review the whole program, find competent people, make sure they man the whole thing, rather than telling that Tree for Life initiative takes off. Now somebody will say, where am I taking this from? Me from Ghana Web on the 4th of March 2025. On the 4th of March 2025, mass layoffs hit Akufo-Addo's beneficiaries of youth in afforestation. Mass layoffs hit Akufo-Addo's beneficiaries of youth in afforestation. And I read, it says that beneficiaries of the youth in afforestation program, a key employment initiative under the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government and managed by the Forestry Commission, have been disengaged by the incumbent government. In a letter addressed to the beneficiaries on February 28, 2025, shared by Asase News and cited by Ghana Web, It announced that all beneficiaries would cease to be employed under the initiative as of March 31st, 2025. So even if we are going according to the story, which says that 15,000 youth to be engaged in forestry plantation program. You are laying off 15,000 youth. Do you know what that means? To do what? Meanwhile, few months later, we are now in June, right? So 3 months on, you come and tell us that Tree for Life initiative takes off under which umbrella? Who is supposed to supervise on that program? His Excellency. Who is supposed to supervise that program? It moves on and says that I'm reading from their own story, the Tree for Life initiative. Why? So if you had an agenda that Tree for Life initiative is one that is going to help correct our climate change problems, and it was going to suit the youth in afforestation program, even if you feel this program wasn't good enough, wasn't structured enough, lacked the corporate competency, what happened to employing competent human resource to man that program, rather than leaving it into the hands of people we don't even know? Hey, if you read further, you know that the commemorative tree planting event, which coincided with the World Environment Day, was used to launch the One Child, One Tree initiative, an intervention under the Tree for Life program designed for students to actively participate in revegetating the country's degraded landscape. As not true. It won't work. It won't work. This program, it is only going to be another waste of money. It is only going to be another taxpayers' money being poured into useless stuff. Good program, poor initiation. Mr. President, it is better you reinstate the people you laid off, employ more competent leaders to check this whole program. This tangent isn't going to help. It has been tried and it failed. So why then do you lay this youth off, begin another program in a different umbrella? This one too lacking structures. The first one failed because they lack structures. This one is also going to fail because it lacks structures. Why? There's a why. We want improvement. We want growth in every sector of our economy, every facet of this Ghanaian economy. We need to see growth. This is not what we are looking for. It moves on and says that the Chief Executive Officer at the Forestry Commission, Dr. Hag Brown, Environmental Protection Authority, Prof. Nana Ama Brown, Tuche, respectively, as well as the members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and the development partners also participated in the event. Definitely will participate. The result is what you are looking for. The end product, Mr. President, this is not going to help. Mhm, 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 mhm. It says that the transformative initiative for his part, Mr. Idrisu said the One Child, One Tree initiative was a transformative step towards instilling environmental consciousness in children at an early age. Now let's see. Let's assume everything is properly done. How is the seedling going to be dispersed? Now, who is going to supervise the plantation of the seedlings? Who is going to supervise the caring of the plants once they undergo growing? Who? Who's supposed to do that? The same child is in school after planting the seedlings. Is that all? Is that what you're telling us? Doesn't make sense. No, 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 no. No, no. This is the same country crying of funds to engage in other developmental projects. So if you have any amount of money, we cannot afford to waste it. We can only be prudent in our spending. We can only be wise in our spending as a country, as a developing country as that. If you ask me, as a president, this tangent will not help. I'm saying it again. This Tree for Life initiative will not help. Giving it to those young ones in their secondary education will not help. You're only setting us up for another failure. Well, let's move on. Before I come to the new force issues, let's move straight into the Bank of Ghana misleading public by ignoring 4 billion positive balance. And look, Dr. Gideon Boako, we know you, we know what you can do. Now, in a strongly worded Facebook post, Dr. Gideon Boako, a former presidential economic advisor and a member of parliament for Tano North, questioned the bank's 9.49 billion operating loss for 2022, describing them as disingenuous, needlessly politicized. Now, my question is this: if you say it is needlessly politicized, my first question, is it true that the Bank of Ghana's operating cost in 2024 led to a loss of 9.49 billion Ghana cedis? Is it true? That's a question to Dr. Gideon. Is it true? Now, if it is true, why is it needlessly politicized? Why is it disingenuous? If it is true, what is your case here? Yes, we understand. You claim that there is a positive balance of 4 billion Ghana cedis. That does not hinder the fact that 9.49 billion Ghana cedis SMSM or has accrued as loss to the states in the name of operating costs. You can only justify a point if you come in and share with us XYZ as the loss operating cost, which is the reason why we lost X amount of money, which is the reason why we lost this as a country. But if you've not done that, your choice of words doesn't suit you as a former MP and a presidential staffer, a former presidential staffer. It doesn't make sense, man. These were the same words people were uttering, which led you to opposition. And if you continue like this, you are going to stay there for the next 50 years. Mabokego. Obisi Mabokego. I say, it's needless. Needless saying. I mean, Ghanaians are calling for accountability, transparency. So if he is accounting, why do you call it needless and then politicize? You are the one now politicizing the whole issue. Did the Bank of Ghana run at a loss in its operating cost? Yes. If no, you prove it. Let me end it there. Now let's move to the new first issues apology over assault involving security that it shouldn't have even been up for discussion at all. It is an assault and it has to be dealt with constitutionally, legally. If you watch the video, the security man as a personal bodyguard of Cheddar, he did not exercise any form of professionalism. He did not exercise any form of patience. I admit, you are supposed to guide Cheddar, right? I admit. But using such brute force, after all, who is Cheddar? He's just a citizen of this country. He is just a citizen of this country. Just as anybody. What makes him special? I mean, you're rather putting the brand Cheddar in gutters, right? So me can watch him, we wouldn't make noise about it because for one, I believe that this man is a brilliant young man. He's one that you can definitely learn from on any day. So I believe it won't happen again. As you see, you to my next time exercise patience. This is where we end today's edition of the reaction. And I am Gajiko. Please do want to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and click on the subscription button, click on the notification button at every point in time. You are going to be one of the few people to watch us first. Thanks for joining me about. Bye.